Okay, so hi guys and ladies, if there is any. I haven't posted a video about the ZZR for a while, so I thought I'd post a video of what's been going on with it, because I've had to do quite a lot of work on it, and then I need to take it for a test drive. I still haven't taken it for a test drive. Okay, a little bit of back history. I had a coolant leak, and it was the main coolant pipe that comes down the front of the engine that's behind the downpipes. So you needed to remove the downpipe basically to get to this coolant pipe. Anyway, once I realized I had to do that, I took off the oil cooler, the radiator, and I ordered some aftermarket hoses and decided to change all the hoses. So I decided, while I was doing that, to refurbish all the downpipes and the exhaust system. I last had it sprayed about 5 years ago, but it started to get rusty again. So I cleaned off all the downpipes, and again I'll try and insert some pictures of the downpipes hanging. In fact, they were hanging from the roof here while I sprayed them. So once I did that, I then realized that there were other little jobs that needed to be done, and eventually I put it all back together. I had all the front end off. I changed the various different elements that needed painting and updating and such. So I did all that, put it all back together, started the engine up, and then I had another coolant leak, which was from the thermostat housing. When I took the thermostat housing apart, which was a really major problem because all the nuts were rusted in, once I eventually got it apart, it turned out that there was no seal fitted. There should be a seal in there, and there was no seal. So again, I had to order more parts, and then the seal arrived, and then I fitted it. Then I put the bike all back together again, and then I had a problem fitting the panels. And as it turned out, it was a combination of two things. One was the slight extra width of the replacement hoses, and the second one was, when I put it back together, I put the right hand horn, which comes on a bar from the top of the radiator. I'd slightly misaligned it by just a couple of millimeters, which wouldn't allow the side panels to fit correctly. While I was doing this, repeatedly trying for 2 hours to fit the side panels, I then broke the bottom of the fairing where it joins together underneath the bike, which meant I then had to have the fairing repaired. So what started out as a relatively simple task then turned into a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, eventually got it all fixed, put back together. I've run the bike up, I have no leaks, it's all going fine, but I still haven't taken it for a test run. So I'm going to, weather permitting, lockdown permitting, I'm going to take it for a test run and make sure that everything is okay on the bike. I sincerely hope it is. But now I'll attach the test run video to this one, and we'll see how the bike is working. But it's nice to have it back. But then still, if you own a 20 or 30-year-old bike, you know, you're going to have to work on them. You know, they're very reliable, but you know, things go wrong, and then you've got to fix them, and that's just part and parcel of ownership. I've been very lucky with this one. I had initial problems the first couple of years that I owned it because of the fact that it had been stored and not done many miles. And then, you know, it's run for, I don't know, 4 years, basically without any real issue, just normal maintenance. So, you know, it was about time that I did some work on it, and I have. So, okay, I'm now going to get changed and then take it out for a run and check that everything is okay. Okay then guys, so as I mentioned in the video, I'm now going to take it for a test drive. So the bike's been off the road about I don't know, 4 weeks now, and I think it's difficult to just, these are all rescue animals that I've got here.
No, you can't really see it. The downpipes have all been sprayed, and likewise the rad guards have all been derusted and sprayed, and basically a lot of bits and pieces of work that were perhaps overdue. With the exhaust, these hangers here, the hangers themselves had started to corrode. So what I did was I cleaned off all the rust, used rust converter, and then sprayed them with this silver paint. And this mark here, this is exactly as it came from the factory. So it was like that from the factory. All I did was use masking tape to follow the original lines. And I'm really quite pleased with the way it's come out. So let's take it for a spin and see how it goes. Move my block of wood. Remember, because I have the adjusters, the chain adjusters rotated. If it's on the center stand without that block of wood, the rear wheel doesn't come off the floor. Okay, she sounds okay. Checked all the tire pressures. Hot day today. But even so, it still needs choke. Okay, let's take it for a run. As I say, I've run the engine up and checked there was no coolant leaks. When I put the seal in the thermostat housing, I also put a new thermostat in. I mean, the old one was working, but it was pretty rusty, so I put a new thermostat in as well. There's more preventive maintenance than anything else. Now, as I say, I ran her up, but it's never the same, is it? Just revving it up in the garage is never the same as actually taking her for a run. So, hopefully, everything will be good. Now I'm limited how far I can take her because of, we're still under some form of lockdown or whatever. So it'll just be a blast along the Skyway, turn around in Makati and come back, about 30 kilometers. So really, people ask me, particularly online, either through my website or the YouTube channel, they ask things like, is it worth having a 20, 30-year-old bike? Isn't it a pain in the ass to keep them maintained? And I've got to say, in my view, it's not. But I think also you must have some sort of affiliation with the machine, because things do go wrong and you need to fix it. If you don't, those problems multiply very quickly and it can be expensive. Let me give you an example. Okay, so I have the ZX11. The service intervals are wide apart, nothing, touch wood, nothing seems to go wrong with them. You know, you just get in there, turn the key, and well, away you go. And I suspect it'll be like that for many years to come. Again, touch wood. When you're looking at 20 to 30-year-old bikes, things do wear. The more preventive maintenance you do, the better it is. The less likely you are to be stranded. And they can be extremely reliable commuters. Oh, I love this bend as well. Oh yeah. Come on. Yeah. Great, a Nissan Joke. Ah, pity, traffic. Temperature good. Yep. The ZZR is back. Ready to give me many more miles of absolute fun. Yes, I don't know what I got up to then, 200 or 210, 220, I don't know, because when I'm doing those sort of speeds or more, I'm never looking at the goddamn speedo. Well, all I can say is the ZZR is back. sounds gorgeous, rides gorgeous, is gorgeous. Oh, I'm a happy man. Oh, what fun that is. Short and sweet. Well, I now know without a shadow of a doubt that it's all good. You know, no matter how many times you've worked on a bike or whatever else, you may have done a particular job many times. There's always that element of, did I put it together correctly? For example, on the headers, where the headers mount into the head, they're supposed to have brass washers. However, when I took the headers off, there was no brass washers there. So I ordered them, but they took ages to arrive. So I put high temp sealant in there as a standby. Now the washers have arrived now, and the next time I do some work on the front of the machine, I'll loosen off the exhaust system and slip the brass washers in. Oh, this traffic. You've really got eyes in the back of your head to know what's going on here. Electric little three-wheelers, they're a pain in the butt. You don't need a license to drive them, but they drive them on the road. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Grandmothers, children. You can tell, I suspect, by the video how hard I have the suspension set. It's because I like it like that, especially when you're pushing it around the bends. It suits me. You know, there are obviously some ZZR 1100 riders are out and out touring guys. You know, they carry wife and girlfriend, or sometimes both, on the back. They make it nice and comfy, wallowy, and that's fine. But I never carry a passenger. My wife's been on it once, and decided that travelling at 260 kilometers an hour was a once in a lifetime experience, so she's never been on the since. So you know, it's set up for me, and I'm not very heavy. I only weigh about 73 kilos. So I like it stiff. But of course, on bumpy roads, you know, the ride can be a little jarring. Temps crept up a little bit, but again, that's normal, being stuck in this sort of traffic. 34 degrees ambient temperature, probably nearest 40 degrees in the sunlight. It's not unusual for it to creep up like that. But I can hear the fan running, so God, if the fan stopped up, you don't stand a chance. The temperature goes through the roof. Okay, so that's the end of the test run. Okay, so all done, all good, no water coming out of anywhere. Temperature going back down. Good. Hey. So, all good. ZZR is back on the road. Right fast, guys. Right fast.
So that's the work that I've done on the bike. I mean, owning these machines, sometimes you have to do a bit of maintenance. You know, they're not young. They are reliable, but things go wrong. So over the last, I suppose, 6 weeks, I've done quite a lot on the bike. Had a few little issues that one led into another. But now I hope, she's great. So we'll see.